Here's some advice that I feel you all need to know. Check it out.
But when you drink alcohol, which is a rotted juice from the realm of the dead, you are tethering your soul away from your body. You're allowing demon to come in and to be in your body. And that's why they walk all weird. The demons aren't used to being in human bodies, but like when people are in it, the demons like feeling your senses. They're hijacking your body. They're trying to get into this person, feel your senses, feel this power, feel what it's like to touch, to hurt. That's why some people black out drunk, you don't remember anything. That's full-on demon possession. And if you're a person that blacks out drunk, then like don't touch alcohol because you have a demon probably waiting for you to take over your body. So demons want to feel the senses. They want to feel your body. They want you to give in to lust, perversion, and depravity, because that's all they can do. I mean, they have nothing waiting for them until the end. So right now they're waiting judgment and they're stuck here. Imagine you turn invisible right now for the rest of eternity. You have nothing to do. What are you gonna do? All you can do is like semi-hijack people's senses. What are you going to do? You're going to try to get them to do things that go against God, to violate their spirits, and to leave their body so demon can come into the person. There are people, they're an entity that is forever hungry but can't eat. But when they get in you, they can feel the sensation of fullness for a moment. When demon gets into you, it can feel the sensation of anything it wants.
If you are a highly vulnerable, sensitive person that may or may not live a negative lifestyle, these entities are just hanging out right behind you. And as soon as you take that drink, and as soon as you start feeling buzzed and everything, they will invade you. They will take control of your vessel. And that is true. That is the reason why people black out. That is the reason why they don't remember what they did the next day. So if you don't want a parasite to be controlling your mind, may be the best time to quit drinking and don't get it no more. Just saying.
If you can say these names while you have a body, you're safe. If you forget them the moment you leave it, you belong to them. The Gnostics didn't leave us prayers. Instead, they left us passwords. These are the ancient phonetic triggers used to force the 365 gatekeepers to step aside. Now that you're ready, let's start with where these passwords come from. For starters, these names weren't invented, they were recovered. The Nag Hammadi Library, a collection of Gnostic texts buried in Egypt in the 4th century, hidden from the church's destruction campaigns, contains detailed maps of the Archonic realm, complete with the specific names, seals, and mystery words required to pass each gate. The most detailed of these manuals is called the Pistis Sophia, so specific about the mechanics of soul ascension that early church authorities classified it as among the most dangerous documents in existence. It doesn't describe the afterlife poetically, it describes it architecturally, gate by gate and name by name. And speaking of names, what are they? Well, the Gnostic texts name the primary archons explicitly. These are not symbolic placeholders, they are the specific identities of the gatekeepers that the ascending soul will encounter. Now, the first and most powerful is Yaldabaoth. He's the lion-faced serpent, the one who rules the material world and declared himself the only god. His name must be spoken not as worship, but as identification. You're not calling to him, you are naming him. And in naming him, you strip him of his authority over you. Now, above him sit his 7 subordinate archons, each governing a planetary sphere. Their names, as recorded in the Apocryphon of John, are Athoth, Harmas, Kalilia Ombri, Yabel, Adonaiu, Cain, and Abel, each one corresponding to a classical planet and each one demanding recognition before allowing passage.
Wait, there's more.
But those names are just scratching the surface. The Gospel of the Egyptians, one of the most sacred and least discussed of the Nag Hammadi texts, takes the password system even further. It preserves what it calls the holy incorruptible names delivered not by human teachers but transmitted directly from the divine realm above all 365 heavens. These names function as what the text calls living waters, vibrational frequencies so precisely calibrated to the structure of the archonic realm that speaking them correctly causes the entire system to recognize the soul as something that does not belong to it. The text explicitly states that these names were hidden inside creation itself at the very moment of its construction, embedded by the true divine as an escape route that the demiurge didn't know was there. Now, among the most significant preserved in the text is Isias Mazareas Ezedekias, or the name of the living water itself, a triple-layered divine title associated with the light realm above all archons. It appears not once but repeatedly throughout the text as a kind of master frequency, a name so complete that it encodes the entire path of return. But wait, there's more. This is where it gets almost uncomfortably specific. The Gnostic texts, particularly the Bruce Codex and the books of Jehu, preserve sequences of pure vowel sounds used as vibrational passwords at specific archonic gates, not words with meaning, pure sound, and pure frequency. The 7 Greek vowels were understood to correspond directly to the 7 planetary archons and their spheres. Each vowel was the sonic signature of that layer's ruling power. Chanting the vowel sequence in the correct order was understood to be a complete traversal of the planetary archonic system in sound, a rehearsal of the ascent performed in the body before the soul had to perform it after death. The books of Jehu go even further, preserving specific vowel string passwords for individual gates. Sequences like A, E, U, E weren't random chanting. They were precise navigational codes. The soul arriving at a gate and producing the correct vowel sequence was presenting a vibrational credential that the archon was cosmically bound to honor. And here's what it means for you. Simply put, you now carry the names the church spent centuries trying to erase. Yaldabaoth, Athoth, Isias Mazareas Ezedekias, the vowel keys of the 7 gates. Not as invocations, as identifications. The difference between a prisoner and a sovereign in this system is simply whether you know what you're inside of. The Gnostics didn't offer salvation, they offered orientation. And orientation in a 365-layer prison is everything. So
Was y'all able to process that? Go over it again. Learn.
We were never supposed to eat 3 meals a day. Did you know that? Well, here's what I found in real human history. People ate when food was available, not because the clock said it was time. Some days they feasted, other days nothing. It wasn't until the late 1800s that breakfast, lunch, and dinner became a rule, pushed by industrial work schedules and food companies that made billions keeping you eating all day. Cereal companies told you breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Snack companies taught you to graze from morning to night. That became the norm. But constant eating keeps your body in storage mode, locking away fat and never switching on repair systems like autophagy, your body's natural way of clearing out damaged cells. Fasting, whether you're skipping breakfast or going 24 hours, gives your body a break from digesting so it can repair, reset, and burn stored energy. Our ancestors didn't need gyms or weight loss programs. They had fasting built into their lifestyle. We traded that for a system that gives you food you don't need. At times you're not even hungry. Why are you eating? Let me answer that. Because you've been programmed that it's time to eat. And not to mention, constant eating slowly breaks you down or kills you. Fasting isn't a trend. Eating nonstop is. Your body was designed for feast and repair, not breakfast, lunch, and disease.
In ancient Rome, they're the ones that started to eat 2 times a day, a light breakfast and a main meal later in the day. Middle Ages, between 500 to 1500. In medieval Europe, most people ate 2 meals, late evening, and breakfast was sometimes skipped or even discouraged by the church for adults. Industrial Revolution in the 17 and 1800s, this is when things changed. During the Industrial Revolution, work days became structured. People needed regular energy throughout the day. Employers set break times. This led to a more constant pattern. Breakfast before work, lunch during the break, dinner after work. By the 1800s, the 3 meals a day was routine became common in industrial society. In countries like the United States, the pattern became standard by the late 19th to 20th century, reinforced by school schedules, work hours, and nutrition advice. And also because they saw that they can make more money with people getting sick, So the medical industry, the pharmaceuticals were making more money. And plus, they saw that people were being slow in how they think. This would close up. They became dumber.
Every time there's a war, the food prices go up, gas prices go up, the rent get higher. Why is this? Then we had these politicians always trying to promise us it's going to get better. It's going to get better. After it get worse, all you have to do is connect the dots. Every time spring come up, gas prices rise because they understand people will be traveling. But it's not really about traveling. It's about the spring equinox. They understand that so many people are about to get their abundance. Yes, every time spring come around, we get our rewards. But they had so many people watching TVs and they are pressing buttons in our head, we forget that the universe works in a certain order. Everything is about business. Me, you, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. We are nothing but numbers. Why do you think they want so many women to get pregnant? Because they understand once a baby come out, more money come out. Their goddess is really a portal. Money really don't exist. Water exists. You know how the woman water break, she get birth, and once she get birth, the moon come and get us because we are drowning in debt. Drowning in debt. When you are drowning in debt, you want someone to save you. When a goddess water break, guess who's waiting to save you? The system. They get a baby vaccines, take their fingerprint, their footprint, and when they think you are ready, they put you in a nursery because they understand the moon is responsible for singing nursery rhymes to us. Everything in this reality is about business because the people that control this world, they are really pirates. We are the lost spirits that's living inside of a body. Our body or our avatar is the business suit. People need to understand that God do not exist in its reality. The real God is gold, oil, and drugs. They put our spirits on the stock market. When someone had the right money or currency, they can purchase our spirit. This shit just don't happen on this planet. This is a universal game. The only way you can escape this, your heart must be lighter than a feather. If your heart is lighter than a feather, you can float on top of the ocean. But if you are in debt with bills, you will sink to the bottom of the ocean. And when you are sinking, you're going to want someone to come and save you, like a whistleblower to tell you the truth. There is no whistleblower. It's about black and white duality. Why do you think they say we have tax deadlines? They're trying to tell you that we are dead, a flat line. The people that control this world are pirates. They want our organs and they want our spirit. Not really the gold, our spirit.
This is where you learn to be conscious aware, conscious awake, and learn how this system controls. Learn to take control yourself and realize you have the power. So always remember what you're looking at. Be careful what you're thinking. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you feel. And be careful what the actions you take. Because whatever you do, you are emitting that energy to the collective, to humanity. And that's a no-no. Always give up the goodness of guides and teachings and advice and be there. Self-centered. Learn to balance your negative, your positive, your good, your bad, your light and your shadow. And learn to control your heart, to control your vulnerability, to control your sensitivity. Be under control, but do not let the system control you. You are powerful. You can change your life.
Think about this. You can tell a lot about a person by what their algorithm on their phone shows them. If someone were to hand you their cell phone, and I call it a black mirror, but this will make sense at the end, but they hand you their cell phone, and it has social media open and you were to scroll and see what videos, posts, advertisements were being shown to them, you could see what their subconscious mind is interested in. This is because your biometric data is collected. What you click or tap, how many times you click, how long or how many times you watch it, and even your health, including your brainwaves. This information is gathered to influence you based off of your subconscious mind. The thing about this, though, is when you allow them to influence you, it becomes a cell phone. But when you take control of your subconscious mind, that's when it becomes a black mirror. A cell is a narrow confining room, as in a prison or convent. So what if this was designed to keep your mind trapped in that narrow confining room? I mean, it would make sense, right? Because if you look at the logo on the back of most of your devices, it is an apple with a bite taken out of it. What if that represents taking a bite out of the forbidden fruit, which is a lower state of being and consciousness? But it changes when you realize that you can take back control of your subconscious mind, because it then becomes a black mirror, because you realize everything inside of here is a reflection of you. That's how you escape the box, is thinking outside of it. There's a lot of people that think they are awake, but still living inside the box, being consumed by what it's showing them. Wake up.
And to add on to that, take a look at their following, the people they follow. It gives you an idea of what they like. And then you click on the people that follow them, and it gives you an idea of what they allow. Because if you click on one of the followings and look at their following, surprise, nothing good. So yeah, you can check that out, and you can always tell how a person really is by the algorithm, by the things they like, and by the people they allow to follow. Because I promise you one thing, they're not going to let you look through their phone or laptop. You know why? Because they got a lot to hide.
Antidepressants, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, literally go into the third dimensional body, and it adjusts the level of serotonin, and it increases serotonin, which temporarily can numb the third eye, which temporarily can increase mood, but eventually everything is interconnected. Serotonin is connected to dopamine, which is connected, and they don't think that. So eventually it actually, what they're trying to fix is a chemical imbalance, causes a chemical imbalance, which causes 70% of the time your most powerful creative force in the world, your sexual energy, your second chakra, shuts down, and as below, so above. So it shuts down your second chakra, then it begins shutting down your third eye. Jesus said, if your eye is full of light, your whole body will have sight. So you start losing your spiritual sight, which numbs you, which makes you become able to survive in a sick system, when in all actuality, it's not necessarily the person who is sick, but it's the system that is sick. So it helps you function in a sick society. So here's the short answer, because there's not one actual double-blind study that proves the serotonin deficiency syndrome. In fact, they think that serotonin is in your brain. 90% of serotonin is in your gut. Antidepressants don't treat the root cause, and that's why they don't work, and that's why more than 75% of people come back to the psychiatrist needing more meds, because it doesn't treat the root cause. It's literally like a photograph, a 3D photograph. You're trying to destroy the photograph, right? And you can temporarily numb the photograph, but in the invisible world, there is literally an invisible negative of the photograph. So you can destroy the photograph and numb it, right? But the invisible world, right? It's still there. So boop, comes right back. Reoccurring major depressive disorder again and again and again and again, until you treat the invisible world. The thoughts, words, beliefs, attitudes, what you do not see, the cause, the metaphysical world, effect, physical, 3D. So you cannot just destroy the physical when the real cause is in the metaphysical world. And this is why antidepressants don't treat the root cause. Freedom is our birthright, God's sovereign and free. And I envision a new global paradigm of mental health that treats the root cause so our children and our children's children and our uncles and our aunties and our mothers can live in freedom, connected to their soul with purpose, with all of the beautiful thing is all of the technology is already here. And it's just a matter, sometimes modern medicine takes about 50 to 100 years to bring forth, because it has to go through this process of double-blind studies, and the double-blind studies need to be approved by a board, and the board needs to then put it into the journal, and the journal needs to then approve it, and then it needs to be, when then the big pharma gets involved, right? So it usually takes 50 to 100 years behind modern science. The beauty is the technology is already here, and the truth will set you free, and everything you need is inside of you. You are eternal, you are source, and you are worthy. And so envision with me a new global paradigm of mental health that treats the root cause. And everybody and their mama is having visions of these beautiful centers with all of the technology. And it's already here where we can all go to experience a connection, an authentic connection to our superconscious mind, where the right thoughts, words, beliefs, and attitudes will naturally flow into our mental, emotional, physical body. And it is resurrection time. Resurrect, bet. The dead aren't really dead, and the dead in Christ will rise first. And the inner Christos reclamation mission is on like Donkey Kong, and you are who you've been looking for.
Those of you that are taking psych drugs, you're not helping yourself, but you're destroying yourself. Psychiatrists, therapists, they're not there for you. They're there for themselves. They're there to get information from you. So, you have the power to cure yourself. You have the power to go within and fix whatever issue you have.
Marijuana wasn't created to get you high. It was created to help you remember who you are. You see, marijuana didn't start as a recreational escape. It originated as an ancient plant that evolved naturally and gradually with humans on Earth, and it grew to interface with the human endocannabinoid system. The plant is conscious and intelligent, and it evolved with humans because it actually wants to help humans. And that's why almost every single part of the plant can be utilized for therapeutic purposes when it's used with intention. Its real purpose was not to numb you, it was actually to show you and to help you remember you. It's a gateway to increase your consciousness when used with that intention. But if you abuse the plant will abuse you. When a tool that is meant for remembrance is used for avoidance, it reverses its gift. Instead of expanding awareness, it collapses it. Instead of connecting you to your body, you drift out of it. So the plant is actually not the problem. The plant is neutral. What matters is how you use it. What is your intention? And who grew it? With what intention? With what sunlight? With what water? With what soil? All of that matters. The plant is conscious, which means it's listening, and you can communicate with it. And when it's used with conscious intention, it can actually be a gateway medicine to expand your state of awareness and consciousness for a certain stage of remembrance and evolution. Because for each stage of conscious evolution, there will be a different lesson and a different teacher, and marijuana can be one of them. But there also comes a time for most when the plant will begin to lower your frequency. And that's when you honor it for what it taught you, and you evolve into an increased awareness and frequency without any external medicine needed. Sober, present, in full awareness. So marijuana is not good or bad. Consciousness, including marijuana, is neutral, and it can be a gateway to increase consciousness when it's grown with care and utilized in the right setting with intention. But if you abuse it, it will abuse you. So the question isn't, should I use marijuana? The real question is, am I using the plant, to escape myself or to meet myself? Is it lowering my frequency or increasing my frequency? And what is my intention?
I've always said to people that smoke weed, vaping is not organic. You're smoking nothing but chemicals. You need to smoke the organic kind. And you're supposed to smoke on moderation. You don't smoke all day, every day, because in that case, you're only doing it for the feel. You're not doing it for anything else. Marijuana does help you in elevating in frequency and going within and learning to be conscious aware, conscious awake. It does help. I've been there, done that. It's helped me, but I don't do this every day, all day. I just don't. Once in the blue moon, I would, because it does help. But then it also destroys your gut, because it doesn't, you just don't get hungry because you do it all the time. And then when you're smoking it before you go to bed, it does not relax you as you think it does. It just, how do I say, your dopamine goes elevated. You get insomnia. And all you want to do is scroll and scroll and scroll. You always got to be doing something. I mean, marijuana and hemp are an herb that wasn't even, how would I say, it's not originally here from Earth. It came from a different place. And it is meant to be a medicine in a small amount, moderations. It is not to be used every day, all day. It's not helping, it destroys. And not only that, you're open a gateway, a portal, a window for the dark entities. And it is true. Whether you want to agree with it or not, it is.
Who didn't get the vaccine? Billionaires knew better, and homeless people knew better. You get fucked in the middle. Who doesn't pay taxes? Billionaires don't pay taxes, homeless people don't pay taxes. You get fucked in the middle. If you're really rich, it's true. It's true, right? If you're at the extremes, you understand things that the people in the middle don't.
He has a very big point. Very big point. That's a good demonstration, though. And it's fact. 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 Homeless people are free. Yes, they are. They don't have to do any of the shit we have to do. Thank you.